Excellent. Well, welcome everyone to the second Midway workshop of the year. I'm Tom, part of the Efficiency for Access Design Challenge team, and also joined by Sean. Rachel's here as well. And yeah, very excited for this Midway workshop, particularly because we have some wonderful previous participants who have taken time out of their day to join us to um, have a little panel discussion, which is for your benefit. It is to make sure that um, everything they learned from the challenge they were able to pass on to you, um, encourage you as you move into the final month um, of your time preparing your final submission. So what we will do first, just as a reminder, it's always helpful to us if you update your Zoom name to include your team number, um, just for activities later on. Um, so please do that now. Also, you're welcome to introduce yourself in the chat, um, and I'm sure you are starting to recognize other names. So feel free to drop people messages. This is a collaborative community, so yeah, always encourage that. So today we're going to um, start with some quick reminders, make sure you're aware of what's coming up, also provide some top tips. You'll get a lot more advice and top tips during the panel discussion um, as well. So do keep an ear out for that. We'll then hear from some past participants and then move into a couple of activities. These will focus on you getting comfortable in that pitching space, starting to think about how you might um, how you might for your 3 minute video, how you might actually incorporate that the pitching element of that. And so that should be great, especially as we have people who have been there and done that. They've produced reports, they've produced 3 minute videos, and they're here on the call willing to help out. We'll then have a final exercise if we have time on life-centered design that encompasses a lot of different areas within the assessment framework. So it's a really great exercise with lots of tools that you can explore and incorporate into your submission. So that's about making sure we're covering all the bases um, within the assessment framework and not getting too stuck on just one thing. So, a few reminders. Very quickly, but it's important to underline. Please make sure all your team members are on CrowdSolve, that they've been added to your project space. That needs to be done by the admin of the project space. If you've got any questions about that, let us know. And also, if you haven't completed the T's and C's form, then, or you're not sure if you have, again, reach out to us. We'll be happy to help. And then a reminder that we have got so much amazing materials, resources on CrowdSolve, webinar recordings, and in the Spark Hub as well. There's fellow participants who would love to collaborate, and so do make the most of those resources as you maybe start to see some blind spots in your design, and yeah, there's a huge amount there to support you. So in terms of uh, what is to come, just a reminder that the deadline is Friday, the 11th of April for your 4,000 word report and 3 minute video. Um, if your university is taking part with more than 3 teams, just a reminder that whatever happens, whether you're chosen or not, you by putting your final report on CrowdSolve, you can compete for the People's Prize. So this applies to everyone who wants to engage in that. Um, And in terms of what happens after that, the top three teams from each university will their designs will be reviewed um, by experts from the sector, and they will be providing feedback to those teams. And we really encourage you to think about how you can take that on and apply it when you're into the next stage of the challenge, which is the pitching round. But we won't get into that now. For now, really, just it's all about focusing on your final submission on the 11th of April. So, a couple of top tips. Um, Today, use this as a really great opportunity, as with all of these webinars, all of these workshops, to practice communicating, whether that's through the chat or by unmuting yourself, engaging in the breakout rooms, asking questions in the panel discussion. This is all hugely beneficial to you as you continue to develop. And then as we are a month out, this is a really good time to communicate any concerns, any issues that you have, because there's still time to fix things, to address things. Your mentor, your educator, your teammates, and ourselves, we're all here for you. So please let us know if there's anything that we can do to help, anything you're not sure about. Um, yeah, you can even reach out right now in Zoom, sending us a direct message. We would love to help out. Great. We'll leave it there because I'm really keen to hand over to our we'll move into the panel discussion. And we have with us, I'm going to double check who is um, who's available. There's been we may have a few join a little bit later. So far, it's great to see that Augustin, Glynnly, and Patrick are with us. Thank you so much. We may hear from Job and Andy later, but thank you so much for joining. Um, we would I'll be taking us through this. We're going to hear a bit about your projects, um, and use that as a time to start thinking about how can you very quickly summarize your project. So they will be giving a good example of that. We'll hear some advice from them, some of the challenges they faced while they were taking part, and any encouraging words they have for you as well. Um, but let's pass over Augustin. Are you happy to start? Just a quick introduction, um, and we'll start with an introduction from each of you. So, a bit about you and a bit about your project in the design challenge.
Yes, are you getting me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tom, Sin, and Lecho. It's a real pleasure to be here, and we really appreciate you for everything you have done in our life. I can say in our life because you have run an amazing skills throughout this challenge. So my name is Nkundimana Augustin. I'm a finance student at University of Rwanda. And currently, it's like past 2 years in the program, running new skills, learning many things. And I really want to let you know that by the way we have been engaged in this program, we have been developed like to be a global citizen. Right now, our students are currently working in different projects in different NGOs. So currently, we really appreciate that. So coming back to our project, what we was trying to design, we was see looking how the pesticides and liquid fertilizer is being sprayed, and we have seen that it's like doing in traditional way where the people being in contact with those pesticides, with those liquid fertilizers. As a team, we sit and discuss what's really we can do so that we can provide a solution to our smallholder farmers so that they can spray their fertilizer and spray their pesticides without being in contact of that. So in the way we meet with this challenge by connected with our educator Msemakwez. But by that time I was cross representatives. I was always eager reaching to him, showing that I'm interested to gain a global skills where I can learn something which is new. So after that, we dive in the programs and we start to build a solar powered SaaS sprayer which can solve that problem of liquid and pesticide fertilizer. So currently, right now, we have been managed to go in another program and raise different funds. So currently, right now, we have been managed to raise the fund by adding to the what we have been raised here. Right now, we are raising a total revenue of 4,000 USD, and we are looking forward to keep looking the way we can keep integrated our solutions in different sectors. And to be honest with you, right now I'm in Carnegie Mellon University, Africa, where we are looking how we can just go taking our idea in their startup hubs so that they can help us to get tech skills that can help to develop our project. I can say currently that's what we are going on for us, and we really appreciate you. Yeah, that is.
Fantastic. Thank you, Augustin. That's an excellent introduction and uh, very inspiring to hear how things are evolving. Um, Great. Let's hand over, Glynnly, over to you. Just a again quick intro about you and your project. Be great.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. My name is Glynnly Masanga from the University of Zimbabwe. I was doing my bachelor's in energy and power, and I graduated last year with a 2-1 honors. I participated in the 2023 EFA challenge, and our project was a lighting and fuel management system. It was meant to help people in the rural areas to adhere and help in lighting. Yeah, so that's all about our project.
Wonderful. And Patrick, over to you for a quick introduction.
Yes, hello everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear, Patrick. Thanks.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm really super excited to be here with current participants, Sean, Tom, Rachel, and my brothers, alumni of Efficient for Access Design Challenge. My name is Ndayisaba Patrick. I'm currently final year student at University of Rwanda. I participated in Efficient for Access Design Challenge 2023-2024. With my team, we won the first bronze award, which really opened some doors. I can say, for example, right now we are working on minimum viable product at Unipod. Another thing I can say, we are trying to register our company so that we can work as a legal company. So I will add more as we move on. Thank you.
Excellent. Yeah, that would be great. Sounds like a lot of exciting things are going on. So that's a bit of background. It would be really great. Let's keep this flow because then you know when to expect to answer. Augustin, what were some of the challenges that your team faced and what advice would you give to participants to make them help them avoid that or just general advice?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question. Thank you, Tom, for that. So, actually, by the way of the skills we were just having by the time we attend the program. So, to be honest, for you, it's totally have been changed. So, before we start the program, actually, I'm the one who come up with this idea at the University of Rwanda. We was worried about in terms of communications. I see if you listen to me right now, it's totally changed. So the challenge we were just having during the period was in the challenge, in design challenge, was just in terms of communication. I mean, we was always worried how we are going to communicate with you, how we are going to exchange with you, how we are going to show you how we are interested for what we are solving. It was really challenging us even to listen the message from you. It was really something which have been challenging us. But during the process, we have been run the roads, we have improved everything, and we have been really improved our communication skills. So you guys, if you have challenge of communication, so the advice I can give to you right now is to be committed to every task that is going on throughout this challenge. It's really totally change your life. So other challenge was just having absolutely is a tech skills, right? I mean, those technology skills that can help you to be navigated on those things. I mean, I remember by the first time was just trying to be familiar with the crowd solve. It was really challenging, guys, to see how we can just make a connection, upload our everything's have been challenging to us. But by the way of working in a team, collaborating with others, asking, even reaching out to Chan and Lesho, to Sin and Lecho, asking them what we can do, it have been really changed our life and the way we interact. So by right now, the challenge we do have regarding to our project, we have received mentorship. That's the better thing we can do right now. As many participants, I want you to listen to that. If you are in the project, we know that tech have been being a backbone of every sectors. If you are working in energy solution, please see how you can integrate technology in your project. I mean, the technology like AI, like data analytics, like those skills that can help you to navigate and being competitive to the market. So those tech skills have been the challenge to us, and I can see like right now we are in Carnegie Mellon University Africa, where we have been integrated how we can integrate IoT and AI in our project. And it's really something that has been changing our project and our life at large. So I can mention that challenge we have made in our team at large. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you for
Thank you.
covering those different areas. As you said, both the communication, the technologies, of just using the platforms that are used in the challenge, um, that seeing that as opportunities to learn um, and as I'm glad that you did make the most of Sean and Rachel to ask questions as well. We don't expect you to all know everything at the start. This is all a learning process. I had one question, which I'll ask everyone, which is, what were your memories of this month before the deadline? What were you struggling with there? What were you how did you navigate this final month for the deadline?
Okay, that is really interesting. I remember by the time we were just supposing to submit our project, it was in the period of doing the exam. It's totally difficult to manage all those things and submit it at the right time. I remember we spent like a whole night dealing with how we can just conclude all the report that have been needed by the project. It was being challenging at that time, but to be honest, it was really something that can really show you that everything is possible. That means if you spend like night dealing with something and then submitting it without delaying the deadline, um, without making like misunderstanding between the teams. So I can say if the team you are working together, you have a reader who have vision where you can take your team to the next level. I can say the deadline can be the challenge right now, but after you skip it, you will have more skills and you will be fun for that. Yeah.
Cool. Great. Thank you. And Glynnly, I'll pass over to you as it'd be good to see again your general um, uh, advice and maybe challenges you faced, and then we'll get into the month before as well.
Okay. My general advice, I would advise everyone to stay motivated and focused. I think remembering why you joined the challenge and what you want to achieve will help you stay motivated and focused even when balancing both schoolwork and the program. Sometimes it can be very overwhelming, especially for a final year student. Another advice I would give some the current participants is to seek help when needed. Sometimes you'd be like, let's do this, let's do this. But seeking help can really help you. You should always seek help from your university coordinator and your mentor. Because I remember when we wanted to create something very, very cool. Since we are engineers, we are saying, we are engineers, so let's make something very, very cool. But after seeking help, we realized that we shouldn't uh, make something that would be very complex since we are targeting low income families. Another advice I would give is that get feedback from people. Even people who are not from the university, anyone in general, it can really help you in your design. Because when you are making whatever you're making or designing for anything, you are targeting those people. You are not just targeting intellect. Um, and also, I would lastly advise the student to enjoy the journey because enjoying the journey makes it very memorable. Make the most of your experience and take plenty of photos to capture memories. The challenge is not just about achieving your goals, but also about learning. Uh, in my case, I learned a lot. I learned how to deal with problems, how to work as a group, what to do when you can't agree on something, and how to manage time. I think that, oh, yeah,
That's
some of the challenges was group work. Yeah, that was our major challenge because I remember we started as 5 participants, but we ended up being two only in our group. So that's all I have to share.
yeah,
Thank
fantastic.
you for having me.
Really, really, really powerful points. And that's as you have a month to go, hopefully some of this you see an opportunity, maybe as a team to start afresh and really reflect on how do you want to finish this journey um, in the build up to the report. Um, because again, as you move further in the challenge, there's you can grow from strength to strength. So those are all really excellent, points talking about getting feedback from from everyone. Uh, that's what I love about this challenge is it's not um, it's taking some complex things and bringing them in uh, to a putting them into a product that is understandable, that's engaging. Otherwise, it will just get lost on people, and they won't want to invest in it. They won't want to engage. So, clearly, those are really, really great points. Thank you so much. Um, Patrick, I'll pass over to you.
All right. Thank you to Augustine and my brother. So about some general knowledge or general advice I can give to current participants. I would say you have to ask question as much as possible because we have seen that if you struggle with stuff alone, sometimes we, we have to remember that we have academic studies, we have different things you have to deal with. So if you take a long time dealing with stuff alone, I think on our side it it helped us to 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 complete our task at right time. So you current participant, you have to take advantage. You have, I think you have aluminas, you have Sean, you have Tom, you have to message them. I remember because I was team leader, so I used to message Sean and asking where we are not understanding. So which really helped us to complete our task. So another thing I can say, learn to how you can manage time. So time management is really important to this challenge because at the end, as my brother Augustine says, if you wait until the last date, it will affect you. Struggling, we are planning behind the time. So do do things early. Do things as said before. Another thing I can say, try to collaborate as team. We was lucky to work as a team from University of Rwanda. We were three teams. So even though those projects was not the same, but we have different things. We all of us we was worked on efficient for access design challenge, which means we are not competitors. We collaborate. For example, I asked some question about my project, asking, for example, Augustine, and Augustine asking me when do we have another workshop, so don't do it alone. Collaborate as team. So another thing I can say, ask your facilitator. You have a facilitator in your campus, so don't let be there as title. So ask him some questions where you don't understand, so that you can come up with innovative project, which is really have an impact. So another thing I can say, you have to understand the real question or problem. So, for example, for us on our side, I remember we spent the whole day asking our small scale farmers. As I said before, we was working on a project which tried to reduce post-harvest losses. So as team, we decided to ask some small-scale farmers some challenge, uh, some solution they exactly need from us. So at the end of the day, you have to know that your customer is really matters in project. So I can say I can stop by here and add many as we move on. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you, Patrick, and some really great points. The final one around ties in nicely to Glynnly around understanding your market, understanding the customer, understanding the person behind this. And one thing, as Job, who was going to be joining us, he shared in the build up to this some advice around um, just just really taking this time with a month to go to identify any gaps that you have in your project. Sometimes you can get very fixed on one area, whereas it's it's a lot easier to go from no marks to a few marks than maybe to go from uh, a high mark to a very high mark in these different areas. So it's really important to just have a good foundation across the four assessment areas. Um, and then you can start to get into the specifics um, in some of these. So I think that was some advice from Job around how you, with a month to go, step back, think, are we putting our efforts in the right areas? Is there any big gaps that we hear from reviewers sometimes? They say, this part was great, but I couldn't give any marks for the social impact or for sustainability. I just didn't see anything. But these other areas, there was lots and lots of detail. So, yeah, that's a bit more advice from Job, who can't be with us today. Um, well, thank you, panelists. That was excellent. Um, what we will do now. So I took off the screen share so we could see everyone. We're going to open up for a bit of a Q&A. So if you have any questions for the panelists, then now is the time. You can ideally unmute yourself or put your hand up, or you can ask in the chat. But what any questions that you have um, for our experts who have joined, who have seen it all? While people are thinking, if there's any final remarks, final pieces of encouragement from our panel, then feel free to share that, and then we'll give a final moment for questions. Augustin, I'll hand over to you if you have anything.
Yes, I know. I really catch up by the time Shani was just asking us to open mic and ask questions. The way he was just feeling was just having a question, but to unmute it becomes very difficult. But our participant, feel free to ask any question. Yeah, there is no outcome that comes from fear. Just feel free if you want to work on your communication skills. All right.
Thank you, Augustin. And we're going to be going into smaller groups in a moment, so that's a nice chance to practice. Which is why also adding in the chat is a nice balance. You can ask your question. Um, but Glynnly, any final words of encouragement um, for this group before we move into the activity?
I would encourage the current participants, that this is the time to ask anything. They should not be afraid. They should cheer up and then ask whatever they want to ask. There's no wrong question. Yes. So they should always ask whatever they want to know, because this is the chance. I remember we used to be afraid. Then after we'd be like, why didn't I ask? Why didn't I ask? But the time would have passed on already.
Thanks, Glynnly. And I will, I can, we can only assume that you three gave such great answers that there are no questions. So thank you, the three of you. Patrick, any final points from you?
Okay, thank you so much. Before I end this, I would like to thank you for giving this opportunity. So inviting me and speaking as winner of the first bronze award. For me, last year it was like dream, because when I used to see people alumni who came and speak to us, telling us how things are possible. Some telling us, you won a bronze award, you won this and this. And in my mind, I used to think, would I came here and speak to the other participants that we won bronze out. So being here as a winner was really interesting. So my final remarks to the current participants, you guys, you have to learn, be here as, because I know when we start this challenge, we always thinking about how we'll win, but at the end, I have seen that being here as learner, as a person who need to collaborate, think beyond. I know this challenge is really important to those people who are in academics. It will open some doors you didn't realize. As I said before, I include in my CV, I won bronze out. There's many things you will get from this challenge, but first you have to learn. First you have to learn. Another thing, ask question as much as possible, and think beyond your academics, so that you can explore those opportunities around the world. Thank you so much.
It's our pleasure. Thank you again. Bono, we had a question from you.
Yeah, okay, I have it. Okay, thank you so much. I am Glynnly Masanga from University of Rwanda. But I would really like to appreciate you for your time and for your guidance. Meanwhile, it was so helpful. And the insight they shared with us, I have found that we have faced some challenges and difficulties like the one they mentioned. And I think we have learned more and acquired how we are going to handle and deal with them. So my question is, it's like, I would like to ask them briefly, like what did they have to keep us consistent in what we are doing? Because, okay, of course, there are some difficulties we face. They have told us some answers how to handle them. But like, what's the key points or key takeaway we have to keep so as to win these prize like they did or benefit in the upcoming days like they did?
Wow, excellent question. Augustin, I saw you nodding. For the sake of time, we'll just hand over to you and any advice on, I think the point there was around that consistency and how do you maintain that to achieve what you've achieved?
Yes, so actually, I really want to take Bonnery and he come from my universities, so and we just have a personal discussion. But I really want to share with you this, to be honest. To do a good report, to win a bronze award, to win everything is not something which can help you to being consistent at this, like becoming an entrepreneur, because entrepreneur is like a difficult journey to be dive in because you are a person who take the responsibility. But I can share with him what have been helping us also to keep being active. Like everything is based for the network. I mean, your network is your network. Right. If you start like if you are in year 3, year 2, you start to being active. I can say for myself, I normally used to being active on LinkedIn, seeing what is growing trend in the industry, what is coming up as new, what is we can do, and building that strong connection that will keep you motivated. So I can say if you really sit and looking the working connections, the network can help you to keep running new things, to keep being collaborative, to keep being motivated. It's absolutely something that can help you to dive in by the time you can finish this program or even finishing your university. Yeah, that is my point.
Fantastic. I would really encourage you know, you are all still hopefully on CrowdSolve from last year, so you can all connect as well on CrowdSolve. Um, so please don't feel like you have to finish the conversations now, but we're going to move through to some activities which will help you hopefully go from a lot of this a lot of the potential that we've been talking about and actually focus it in on the month ahead. So let me share my screen and we'll what we'll do is we'll go out into a breakout room for 10 minutes and if there may we're trying to group you, but if ideally we would have just one person will put their hand up and say, I will start off this conversation by giving a project summary and thinking about this as if it is your within your 3 minute video. So how would you want to start that 3 minute video? Um, and then the room will have a couple minutes, 3 or 4 minutes to ask any clarifying questions. If there are a million questions that, you know, it may help you to go, maybe I should think about how I start my my video to make it more clear. So hopefully that will help. You'll then have 2 minutes to share some challenges that you are facing. Um, and then the room can suggest some next steps, some useful resources. Um, so that's the format we're going to go, and we'll then come back and we can run that. We can run that again, but I'm very keen to to see you. Make sure that you've introduced yourselves before you start, and yeah, be be very think about how you give your questions, how you give your feedback. We're supportive, but yeah, one person to start. Then we'll come back together in 10 minutes and see how we got on. I'll add the directions into the chat now with the timings, and I'll be updating you as well, be sending out messages. So good chance to practice your pitching, think about how you're going to start your 3 minute video, and we'll make sure that our previous participants are spread out into the rooms and they can provide their feedback and insight as well. Great. Sean or Rachel, if you're happy to open up the rooms. And so I hope you found that useful, either pitching yourself briefly and then getting questions and then sharing some challenges and getting some advice, or being on the other end, being someone who can ask questions and provide advice. So let's quickly go around the rooms. I think Simbarishe, did you share a bit about your project? You don't have to go through the whole thing. It would just be really helpful to know if how this was helpful for you, sharing a bit about your project.
Okay, hello guys. I'm Simbarashi Jonas. I'm a student at the National University of Science and Technology in Zimbabwe. So myself and my group are currently doing a solar water purification system. So a brief background is that we are targeting a small community, right? So it suffers from water scarcity as well as contaminated water bodies, right? So that's the problem we are trying to attack. So our water purification system, we are going to pump water. Then the water is going to pass through filtration processes, right? Then after that, we are going to expose the water to activated charcoal cleansing, whereby we are just supposed to remove the odor, the bad smell from the water, right? Then after that, we are going to filter it again to remove any sediments that may have arisen from the charcoal. After that, our system is now supposed to make use of UV LED lamps. So that's the main part of our project, to make use of those UV LED lamps in order to remove any bacteria from the water source. Then it goes to the storage tanks where it can be used by the residents. So that's the system.
Excellent. Thank you for that. And um, do was there any advice you were given, any questions that were asked today that were particularly helpful? I think we may have just lost Simbarashe. If you can still hear us, um, let us know. Were there any questions, any advice you received just now that was particularly helpful?
Okay.
Yes.
I was asked on my area of concern why we chose that water purification system. So yeah, I answered that because here in Zimbabwe, right, the National University of Science and Technologies.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. So I was asked why.
Ah, and we've lost Simbarashe. Okay, perhaps he'll come back in a moment. But it's a good thing to be considering is people when they're hearing from you, they want to know why you've chosen this. So it's a very simple but very powerful question to try and answer in your video, in your report, in your pitch. So thanks, Simbarsha. We'll leave it there for now. Um, let's hear from one more group. Um, who else would like to share a bit of feedback from their group? I think the other person I think Mohammed Yassin, are you happy to give a um, quick bit of feedback? You don't have to share your whole project, but just something that was useful from that session.
Oh, Augusta give me a suggestion about my project that it's a good idea, but there is a uh, challenging to build a boat on the budget. There is a budget issue will be there, so we will think about it. Thank August, because the project depends. If I build a project that is not viable, then no one will invest on that. So we have to keep mind on it when you build on the project working. That would be a realistic. So the investor would love to invest on it. Without realistic, that no one showed any interest on my project or anything I will do in my future as an engineer. So I have to keep mind on it. Thanks, Agustin, on that.
Excellent. I'm really glad to hear as we say, there's still a month for you to iron these out, iron out these concerns, to really come up with some powerful responses to these things. So um, excellent. I'm glad that's useful. Well, there'll be plenty of time to continue these conversations. What we're going to do is we're going to combine the next two activities because you're now familiar with this format of somebody else in the room shares their project, a couple minutes for clarifying questions, then the spokesperson can share some challenges, um, and then the room can provide some advice. So we will do this again, but we'll also finish just by spending some time as a group, um, thinking about um, some or looking through some guides, design guides that are available to you, that connect to uh, the Engineers Without Borders competency compass. So this is all about um, highlighting these professional competencies, um, these the skills, the knowledge, the mindset needed to be globally responsible, to be an engineer who designs for people and the planet. So what this covers is today is just life-centered design. So this is a knowledge piece. This is having shown the value of having knowledge of life-centered design um, that prioritizes people, non-humans, animals, the planet, and just designing ways to operate, maintain, and improve living systems is really powerful. And within the challenge, looking at the different assessment frameworks, you can think about innovation and how actually these approaches to a product, to an appliance, are very innovative. So using life-centered design can be something that really makes your project shine. In terms of sustainability, well, having life at the center is the epitome of sustainable. So thinking about solutions that bring nature in is really important. And then for social impact, then prioritizing the needs of people and their environment is so important. And so life-centered design covers that. And then for business model, um, there's thinking about as you scale. Sometimes it's easy when it's very small to think of life-centered design, but you need to be able to show that as this scales, you'll be able to ensure that this continues to benefit people and the planet. So this is just a bit of a sales pitch of why this is so important to think about the living system. Thankfully, you don't have to do this on your own. There are some amazing resources through the Ellen MacArthur Foundation that are templates. They're worksheet templates that will hopefully help you explore some of these ideas. So there's a link here. I'll be adding it into the Zoom chat. But as an example, this is a product journey map, and it just very simply helps you think about, okay, what happens after someone has finished with the product? And just keep asking, then what? Okay, then what happens? Okay, maybe it's repaired. Okay, that's great. Then what after it breaks again? Well, maybe then it is recycled. Okay, well, then what? You're able to ask these questions and just have a clear idea of where all of the materials, all the components will, throughout their life cycle, what journey will they go on? So these are very simple, very nice templates. And what you will need to do is just explore these for 5 minutes as a group and discuss which ones you think might be helpful. And this is why you should use these. We can see that these are covered in the assessment framework, thinking about the whole life cycle. And they don't take very long to work through. So if you have big gaps in your design, maybe you haven't thought about the business model yet, well, you can use one of these templates and it will give you a very powerful, it'll give you a lot of the components you need to think about. And as our panelists have shared, this journey continues beyond the challenge. And so life-centered design is essential for a thriving future for all of us. And you can, by becoming an expert, becoming knowledgeable in this, it will put you in a really strong position. So I will share this the link to that in the chat, and we'll go off for another. So we'll try and compress this a little bit this time. So spend a little bit more time. Well, in total, we'll spend 10 minutes. And so we'll just do 2 minutes of clarifying questions and 2 minutes of advice. And then you can spend 3 to 5 minutes just looking through the resources that are there. So, Rachel, if you can open the rooms again, and so welcome back. I'm sorry we had to pull you out, but aware of the time, and all of these activities you can continue to connect to people, practice pitching. So yeah, don't feel like this is the final chance. And with the design guides, if you couldn't see, there are worksheets about halfway down the page. Lots of different worksheets for different areas of your design. So we're confident there'll be something in there for everyone. And a few, I'll hand over to Rachel just for a few little. There we go. Yes, wonderful. If you like to give feedback for this webinar, please, it'd be great if you could all fill that out. Just been added to the chat. And thank you again so much to our panelists. Thank you, Augustin, Glynnly, Patrick. It has been incredible to hear your perspectives and to see the energy that you've brought and the encouragement that you've shared. So thank you all. We wish you all the best in all the amazing work you're doing. And this we will leave it there. The team, Rachel, Sean, and I, we're happy to support however needed in the next month, but we'll leave it there. Best of luck, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tom. And we really appreciate you, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.